This is Bumper to Bumper, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Bumper to Bumper Radio on this beautiful Saturday, October morning. My name is Matt Allen. Along here with me is Dave Riccio, and together every single Saturday we are your KTAR car guys at 11 o'clock. Bumper to Bumper Radio is a show every week to help you, the motoring public, anybody who owns a car, maybe even rides in a car for that matter, and I think that covers just about everybody, to help you have a better overall motoring experience, a car ownership experience. Maybe it's a car buying experience. Whatever experience it is that you're having with your car, we'd like to think we can help you do that and have a good one. If you'd like some help, you can get involved with the show at 602-277-5827. It's 602-277-KTAR. And if you like to text, you can do that at 411-923. You can find us every other day of the week at bumpertobumperradio.com. Send us a message if you like. Maybe you got a show topic or something you want to hear us talk about. That's a good place to get that message to us. So, Dave, talking about cars, I saw an article the other day that said the majority of new car financing is done for 84 months. 7 years.
It's because their cars aren't cheap. They're not giving these things away.
I was shocked. Well, I was shocked at that. It wasn't too long ago you and I were killing some time out by a car dealership and just started roaming through the aisles looking at cars. I thought, holy hell, these things are expensive. I mean, you don't even really think about it. So you sit down and you buy one, then heck, you might be a Hyundai or something. I see a Kia, nice Hyundai or Kia advertised, nice car, $25,000. But, maybe you want something a little sportier, you need something bigger or whatever. I mean, I'm seeing these loaded up Sequoias and Toyotas. It doesn't matter if it's
80 Gs.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It used to be, that's more than a lot of houses in certain areas of the country. So I'm thinking about this 84 months. I mean, that's really signing up for the big time.
Well,
and
that's a long time, and you don't want to burn that sucker out before your payment books burn up. You know what I mean? And
it happens though. That's the thing, right?
Oh yeah, people come to me. They need a major repair. They still got they know they got a thick payment book still at home. They got a long way to go on that sucker, And so, for me, when I think of this topic, because you're reading over your shoulder there, that 54% of the cars that are used are financed.
Yeah.
So people are buying used cars, financing those. New cars is 80% of the new cars sold are financed. 90% of the new cars sold.
I don't have a real new car. We got a 2010, I got a 2006, and a 5. I haven't had a car payment in years, and boy, it feels nice not to have one. I mean, of course you're gonna. I've had them before, but to be out from underneath the weight of a car payment is one thing. But we've got to, if we're going to sign up for that, you got to think about the way you're going to take care of that car. And we've talked in the past about budgeting. So if you're out shopping for a new car this morning, really think about what you're doing and the cost of that and the cost of the financing. And don't forget about the sales tax and all that stuff that goes in. And, at some point we probably ought to get we need to have probably come in under a disguised voice, but a car salesman to teach us the tricks about not buying a car on payments, for example. You still got to buy off what the car costs, not how much the monthly payment is.
Yeah.
Well, that's one trap to avoid.
They always, what kind of payment are you looking for? If you tell them 350, they're thinking, well, if they can do 350, they can certainly do 425.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if they can do 425, why not 475?
Meanwhile, they're just
weather looks good.
Meanwhile, they're just upping the price of the car, maybe. But so let's forget about that. We're not buying new cars today. We're going to talk about, I think, what's the best used car to buy, Dave?
Sometimes it's the one you already have.
That's the answer. That's right, but not everybody's going to do that either. I mean, we've got to go out occasionally. Maybe we're going to buy the $3,000 or $5,000 car for our kid that's the new driver, or maybe one that's going off to college because they might need a car,
or maybe an extra car,
or maybe it's just your turn. You're the smart one. You don't want to go buy the $50,000 car and have it be worth $30,000 in 3 years. So maybe you're going to go look at the 3-year-old car.
Mm-hmm.
So we can talk about that thing, what you need to look for, how to avoid having some of these mistakes. Dave, you get the question all the time, same as I do, right? Your buddies?
Well, what car to buy?
Well, what car to buy, or tell me about, and then they show up. You tell them which cars to stay away from, and they show up with that one.
Yeah.
Or you tell them, no matter what, you got to get the car checked. Let us check the car out before you buy it. And they show up, hey, what do you think about this new car? You're like, well, it's a piece of garbage. Don't you see these hood lines don't line up? And
there was a host here that we worked on his cars and stuff, and he really wanted to buy this truck. And he'd send me all these Craigslist ads. What do you think of this one? I'd say, nope, doesn't add up. What do you think of this one? Nope, doesn't add up. Well, he finally gets tired of that, and I get tired of it too. And he finally shows up to my shop with this really pretty-looking Ford F150. And he goes, man, check this thing out. I got such a good deal on it. I got money left over so we can fix everything that's wrong with it, right? So I jump in the car. I start it up, man, and it feels like it's running on 6.5 cylinders. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, he goes, what do you think?
He's all giddy.
And I'm like, it's kind of like when you're looking on your buddy's baby. He's like all proud. It's his new baby. You look at it and it's ugly. But you don't dare say anything. And you even hide your wince. You kind of like don't let him see it. But it's like, you can fix that, right? I hope so.
Yeah, anything you got, we can
And
fix.
then I'm driving across the parking lot and I hit the brakes and the brakes pulsate real bad. And I'm only going 10 miles an hour. He's like, you can fix that too, right? I'm like, yeah. But he couldn't have got a good enough deal on this truck. At the end of the day, it was the only vehicle I never could fix.
Right.
Because it was hacked up so bad.
It's happened to me before. You just kind of get worked up. You get your eyes set on something. It's like that new puppy. You can get the first puppy you see, right? Maybe it's a bad idea. Pump the brakes a little bit. And you want to look around. I mean, I saw an article the other day, too. I didn't read it. I just saw the headline said, Carfax or somebody says,
bumper sticker knowledge.
I saw the headline. But oodles 450,000 flood damaged cars out there on the road. And Kerry saw it too. He didn't read it either, but he saw it.
All we need is headlines in this country.
Yeah, that's right. So they're out there. I don't think we see as much of that stuff here in Phoenix, although we had some cars get toasted in the rain. I would have bought one the other day from they ship them over, but get them through the auctions. But they're not all necessarily bad. But so you got to take the car to the shop, and you need to get it checked out. You really need to go drive this car, and I'm not talking about a ride around the block.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Dave, how long does it take for a transmission symptom to show up sometime?
30 minutes of driving.
Yeah. So you tell a salesman, here's my driver's license, here's my insurance. You go talk to another customer. Don't bother me for a while. My wife, my husband, and I, whatever that makeup is, we're going to put the car seat in the car or whatever we're going to do, and we're going to go for a cruise. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's the same that holds true with Joe the neighbor who you found on Craigslist or Auto Trader. You got to get that car out and drive it.
Mm.
Not very often. I mean, it depends on what price range you're in, but not very often is that $5,000 car in great condition.
No.
You tell people, it happens for you, Dave, too. You need a transmission, or I tell them, you need a bunch of work, you need this. Just get a new car and sell this one.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, that means the next guy's got to do it. In these factory pre-certified, pre-owned that doesn't mean, I've seen some that are done right, where they change out all the brakes, all this, all that.
It's a good sift. They're better than most, put it that way.
Correct. But, I mean, there's still, but just having sometimes some of the cars I can just drive around the block and say, don't buy this.
Yes.
Some of the cars are going to look a little harder, to make sure. But every time I notice when I buy something, if I'm ever talking to a salesman, they always create pressure. They always just create pressure, like, I got to do this now, or something's going to go wrong. So I just say, hey, listen, buddy, if there's pressure, then it's the wrong deal for me. Mm-hmm. So I'm already feeling pressure, so it might be the wrong deal for me. Maybe I better go on. Oh, wait, when you watch them all of a sudden back off. You do have time. If it's kind of hard to get your $2,500 or $3,500 car over to your mechanic to check it out before you buy it, because they go quick. You're not going to expect a whole lot out of a car like that. But if you're going to invest, buy a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 used car, you can spend $40,000 on a used car.
Heck yeah.
That is a big purchase. Certainly worth having your mechanic check that out.
Well, and I think some of the things that help you stay in the driver's seat, no pun intended there, is have your own financing.
Buy it cash on the barrelhead.
Well, not even that. You can go to your credit union or go to the bank.
Yeah,
what do I
but you
qualify
gotta check.
for? You don't need to give all your personal information to this guy selling you the car because he's got the goods on you now.
Mm-hmm.
If you know how much you can afford and you've run a couple different scenarios out, heck, you can go on Google and type in auto loan calculator. It's not that hard. If you can't figure that out, you probably shouldn't have a driver's license. and so know what you can afford. Know what the sales tax is in your town or your city or wherever you are, that 8.3 or 8.9 or whatever it is, and run out some scenarios. So as you're shopping for these cars and understanding how much you can afford or can't afford or want to put down and what the sales tax is, that's a good way to be in control as far as I'm concerned.
Well, and I think that's a theme that always comes up is as far as, we can be proactive about maintaining a car. We can be reactive. We can be proactive about buying a car, or we can be reactive about buying it. You want to be in the driver's seat when you go to buy a car. So you don't want to be in a pinch last minute. You should have a game plan with any vehicle that you own. How many more years am I have this car? How many more, when you're thinking about it, it even affects how you maintain the car. But you have to have a plan. Otherwise, you just kind of, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. I mean, and you can have a savings plan for your new car. There's not a lot that should be happening with your car and in your life that is a big surprise. Like, hello, oh my gosh, Christmas is here already.
Can't believe the car broke down. Yeah, it's got 100,000 miles on it. That happens.
Yeah, oh my gosh, Christmas is here. Yeah, it's been on the 25th the last however many years. Umpteen, whatever. So,
hey,
have a plan and then you're not under stress, you're under pressure. And what do you do when you're under stress and under pressure? You make bad choices. So we can break this down.
One of the bad choices that happens often is I see people buying batteries on the side of the road. Apparently, there's these battery delivery companies that come out and put a crummy battery in your car and get you off the side of the road, but then you got to go back to them every time. But batteries is one of those things where you can be proactive or you can be reactive. The reaction is, hey, you get in your car to go somewhere important and click, nothing happens, or you don't even get the click. So you can get a battery ahead of time. Make sure your battery is being checked every time you go into the shop. And if you do need a battery, get yourself a good interstate battery. They're a coast-to-coast battery. They have a good 2-year free replacement warranty, and they're prorated up to 60, 72 months in some cases.
The
Megatron Plus. They sound impressive. Anyway, when we come back, we're taking your phone calls at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. Whether you got a noise, whether you got a car you're looking at purchasing, whether you got a vibration, whether you got the anomaly of a weird check engine light that pops up every now, we can help you with all that and more at 602-277-5827.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A-plus rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20-plus years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
What's the right call after a car accident? Hi, Leo Petrozello for Campus Auto Body Salon. I invite you to check us out online and see why so many people have made us their first call following their accident. Bumper to Bumper Radio approved, 5-star rated with Yelp and CarWise.com, and A-plus rated by the BBB. Make your first call the right call to Campus Auto Body Salon. Check us out online at campusbodysalon.com. Serving the Valley since 1973. Campus Auto Body Salon. The best care in collision repair.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and together we're your KTAR car guys. We've got Jim and Ed and more open lines at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. We are helping you with your car, whether you're looking to buy one, whether you're looking to get rid of one, looking to fix one, don't know what the heck you want. Give us a call, 602-277-5827. Well, Matt, let's go with Jim and Gilbert. He's got a 2013 Ford F150. How can we help you, Jim? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yeah, hi, good morning, guys. Appreciate your help. Yeah, I got like I said, a 2013 F-150, and the oil light keeps coming on and off. I checked the oil level's great. I checked the oil filter, and the oil filter is tight, and it's like when we stop at a light or a stop sign, it'll come on and off, say low pressure, and I don't know if it's just a bad sensor.
Did you check you did check the oil level?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And it happened right after I changed the oil. I changed the oil myself, but but I made sure the oil filter is on there, and then the oil level is perfect.
Well, is there any noise associated when that light comes on?
No.
Any ticking or rattling?
No,
well,
sir.
I think, Jim, what you need to do, and this happens even in the best repair shops at times, is get back underneath the truck or wherever the oil filter is on that, and make sure you didn't somehow pinch, damage, or disrupt the oil pressure switch or the wire going to it. That would be my first look, Dave. And then after that, I think we need to do a mechanical oil pressure test and verify what the pressure actually is.
Yeah, and Matt, you're asking, about noise, because when you're lacking oil pressure, you're going to get some sort of low end knock out of the motor. It's going to make some noise, and But the one thing he said, when he slowed down, when engines are low on oil, you come slowing down to a stop, all that oil sloshes the front of the oil pan.
Well, the way you drive, Parnelli, when you're coming to the stop, hurry up and stop. But
so I wondered if that, but he said the oil level's right on the money. So maybe we truly don't have an oil pressure problem. The other thing too, sometimes you come to a stop, maybe the engine idles way down, and now the oil pressure is going to read low because the engine's idling so low.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking a low speed thing, but hard to tell. But I think Jim, maybe he will call us and give us an update next week, or send us a note and let us know what happens. But I'd be interested to know. The thing that got me is it's right after he did the oil change. Makes me think we might have a little bit of
go back to where we
operator
just
error
were
in there. Yeah.
For sure. Thanks for the call, Jim. 602-277-5827. Let's go with Ed in Goodyear. He's got a 2002 Hyundai Sonata. How can we help you, Ed? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yeah, I've got when the air temperature gets down into the 60s, I get a hiccup going, it's an automatic transmission going from second to third gear. And as it gets colder in the winter, it goes from a hiccup to a thump, like it doesn't even want to keep going, but it does. The transmission is fine. When the car is warm, running fine, transmission works great. But the coldness just has that feature to it.
One of the things that commonly comes up is that in the wintertime, as the temperatures change, the transmission fluid changes. Because it expands and contracts with temperature. And it's cooler out now, and anywhere where it's a hydraulic machine, and anywhere where maybe there's a seal that's leaking, it's not going to work as well in the wintertime. So we see a lot of that kind of morning sickness happen come wintertime when a transmission's starting to get old and show its age. I'm not saying that's what's going on. Usually a Hyundai is pretty quick to throw a gear ratio error. I'm going to a limp mode if it is actually slipping, but there may start to be something going on there. It's something you're going to want to get diagnosed.
How would you do that, Dave? Is that something that you might just let warm up in the garage for 3 or 4 minutes and see if that affected it, get some heat in the fluid, or just to try and help with a diagnostic tool before bringing it in, or not really?
You could try. You could try that. I would drive it and see what's happening. If it's specifically one shift or another shift, see what's happening. But I'm surprised that it's not turning the check engine light on,
right,
and putting it into a fail-safe mode. So, and sometimes, we hear people describe stuff to us all the time, and we're immediately thinking a transmission problem that we get in the bay, and the engine's just misfiring.
Right.
So if an engine's not running well, the transmission can't work well. So there's other things that affect the transmission heavily.
Well, that's why you got to be careful going into some shops and saying, I need a transmission.
Yeah.
Because you might get a transmission, and you go, oh, hey, by the way, you need a tune-up too, and that'll fix that problem that you want us to put the transmission in for, or the mass airflow sensor, or something like that. It's not uncommon.
Well, that's where I say almost you go in describing symptoms, not what you think it is.
Yes.
Here's what I feel, here's what I experience, and then let them do what they do. But if you go in, you can actually lead them down the wrong path. Mm-hmm. They start chasing a problem that's not even really there. So
exactly.
Good luck with that, Ed. Let's go with Jeremy in Goodyear also. He's got a leasing question. How can we help you, Jeremy? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to get your thoughts on, I've heard lots of times where a lease is not such a great idea. I've read a little bit about it, and maybe I'm going through a midlife crisis and just want that newer car. But
Corvette convertible, because that's where I'd go.
Yeah, well, maybe not that. I'm looking at kind of considering a Toyota Highlander. I've got the good old Camry right now, a 2000, and I didn't mention that earlier, but it's and it smells like gas sometimes when I turn it off. And somebody said I might have an exhaust leak, but I don't think I do. Anyway, I didn't mention that earlier, but I'm really kind of just trying to decide if I should do a lease or not. And the pros sound pretty good. The cons I know are pretty bad, but yeah, I'm kind of tired of having car problems, and it just sounds like just a pleasant thing to have a new car, and
I think the one thing with the leasing, I've always heard bad things about leasing. I mean, I grew up, my dad was always anti-borrow money. If you can't afford to pay cash for it, you can't afford it, that kind of thing. You don't live, you never borrow money. That's always been ingrained in me. Leasing, I guess you just got to apply some math to it. You got to put it on a spreadsheet. What people don't understand, I think, is the biggest thing. And it's just like buying a car on a payment. This is the amount that you pay every month. There's some down payment, but it's not as heavy as what you would normally have a down payment. But you walk away from the car at the end of the deal. After those 36 months or whatever it is, you just walk away. But you still have to negotiate the price of the car. That's where they really make it on the lease. Here's the lease, and it might just be based on the sticker price. Somebody is still buying that car. You're just renting it from them. So the lower the acquisition cost is for Joe Blow financing, or whether it's Toyota Motor Credit, which, by the way, is different than Toyota car sales and manufacturing or whatever. They're different entities. Somebody has to make an exchange of money. So if that Highlander that you're looking at is $40,000 on the sticker, and that's what all their lease numbers are based on, you can talk them down or negotiate that down to maybe $38,000. That is going to affect the lease. But the other thing where I see people get hurt on the leases is the mileage. They under-anticipate what their mileage is what they're going to use the mileage. And that's a really good way to take a bath on one of those leases. And then the other thing that people do is they get the lease. They think they don't need to take care of the car, which you do. I would certainly treat a leased car different than I would an owned car, but on the turn-in. And they go, if you didn't put the right tires on it, bam, they nail you. Got that ding in the door, nailed you. So there's a lot of other things that go along with that. So it's just, you got to get a calculator and get some sheets out and start running numbers, and run them for not 3 years, run them for 5 and 6 and 7 years. Looking at the resale value of the car when you're done with it, there's a whole lot that goes into it. Or you could be married to renting a car for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and,
right?
and
that's what it is.
And you may be okay with that. I just want to rent cars. Some people don't want to buy a house. They just rent a house. Or they just live in an apartment. That's the way they want to do it. That's the way.
However it applies to your life, perfect.
For sure. Well, we've got more open phones at 602-277-5827. When we come back, we've got Wayne, Bob, Colette. You listen to Matt and Dave on Bumper to Bumper Radio. We'll be right back.
There is nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock here for Kurt's Auto Repair. I brought my nephew and general manager, Jeff Rock, to help spread the word.
Thanks, Pops. Yep, the more things change, the more they stay the same at Kurt's. Family owned and operated, our ASE Master Techs and family ethics have earned us a perfect Better Business Bureau record for over 30 years. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue in Bell, or online at mycarhurts.com.
Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic, if your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
Some say one of the worst sounds you can hear is a car crash.
Yes, and all the stress that goes with that can be worse.
The accident is stressful enough. The repair process doesn't have to be. Hi, this is Kevin,
Dave,
and Leo,
and we're the collision team at Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Individually, we own Campus Body Salon, I-17 Collision, and First Class Auto Body. Together, we're an unbeatable team working for you, not the insurance company, to get your job done right. Check us out at bumpertobumperradio.com.
Here's what Carrie from Tempe had to say about her experience with Good Works Auto Repair.
As soon as you realize, I need to get some work done on my car, I'm sure the thought occurs to you that you're about to get taken for a ride. I used to share the same sentiment and wondered if the shop was going to make something up and have me spending hundreds of dollars instead of $30 I was planning on for a simple oil change. This is one of the reasons I will only go to Good Works Auto Repair. Because I trust them. Putting trust in an auto shop didn't come easily. It's been built over several visits with them doing exactly what was needed, not coercing me into unnecessary work. Ask them for an oil change and a safety inspection, they do just that. No baloney, list of filters, belts, and whatchamacallits that need replacing on my new car. Thank you, Good Works Auto Repair, for being there for me when I need you.
Appreciate the kind words. It's always a pleasure. Glenn Hayward here. Come experience what award-winning auto service should be. Good Works Auto Repair in Tempe, or visit us at goodworksautorepair.com.
Arizona's news station. KTAR. On air, 92.3 FM. Online at KTAR.com. And streaming live on the KTAR News app. Your breaking news and traffic. Now.
KTAR News time is 11:30. I'm Nailea Leon. A suspect is in custody after multiple people were shot and killed at a Pittsburgh synagogue this morning.
8 dead, 6 wounded, including 4 police officers. That from law enforcement officials in Pittsburgh after a gunman opened fire this morning at a synagogue where a congregation had gathered.
Sabbath worship was underway when a gunman opened fire at Tree of Life congregation in Pittsburgh's Squirrel Hill neighborhood.
There are multiple fatalities. There are at least 6 injuries, to include 4 police officers.
Pittsburgh Public Safety Director Wendell Hisrick said a search of the synagogue found no additional threats. The gunman was taken into custody after he barricaded himself inside a rabbi's study. Hisrick said he has experienced a lot of crime scenes. This one, he said, is horrific. Aaron Katursky, ABC News.
Hisrick says federal authorities will be taking the lead on the investigation.
The FBI has both assets from both western Pennsylvania and from D.C. en route here, so they will be running the investigation.
ATF also on the way. President Trump suggesting to reporters that an armed guard at the synagogue might have saved lives. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Now let's get a check on traffic. Here's Mike Daniels in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
We got a crash blocking the shoulder, Loop 101 westbound just west of 7th Avenue. Injury accident involving a pedestrian on 19th Avenue just south of Dunlap. And a wreck at Baseline east of 43rd to watch out for. This is what brought to you by Smokey's Garage Door. Is your garage door squeaking, rattling, or just not working? The pros at Smokey's Garage Door will get you back on track fast. Free estimates and same-day service available. Just click Smokey'sGarageDoor.com. I'm Mike Daniels, KTAR News.
KTAR weather for the valley. Clear skies right now with a low of 63 degrees tonight. Tomorrow, mainly sunny skies with a high of 92 degrees. The rest of the week, we will see temperatures stay in the 80s. Right now, it's 78 degrees in Paradise Valley. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. Whether replace or repair, call Howard Air. I'm Nailea Leon on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
Trust. They say it takes years to build, seconds to break, and forever to repair. It doesn't come easy, and you have to earn it every day to stay in business, right? Hi, Dave Riccio from Tri-City Transmission and co-host of Bumper to Bumper Radio. As Arizona's oldest and most trusted transmission shop, we're determined to keep building on a reputation that we've worked hard to earn by doing the right thing every time for our customers. Yes, honesty is our policy, but we go a step further and back it up with experience and the expertise to be able to give you comfort to know that if you are going to have to spend money on a transmission, that A, you actually need it, and B, that it's done by the most qualified experts at a fair price. I guarantee it. Tri-City Transmission, handcrafted since 1972. Go where friends trust to send their friends. Check us out online at TriCityTransmission.com. That's TriCityTransmission.com. TriCityTransmission.com.
Honesty and integrity. It's the only option. Hi, Spencer Doucet for H&I Automotive. H is for honesty and I is for integrity. We built our business on these 2 principles.
Hi, this is Danny Grant.
And I'm Paul Garcia.
We're Spencer's business partners. Originally, we were customers that were referred by friends to check out this great shop in Mesa. We saw for ourselves how special the experience was at H&I.
Yep, we went from raving fans to good friends to enthusiastic partners when Spencer was looking to expand his business to the East Valley.
Thanks, guys. The overwhelming support from our customers, families, and partners has allowed us to celebrate the opening of our second, brand-new, state-of-the-art location in Gilbert. 2 locations, same principles. Quality service at a great value that you can count on for all your automotive needs. Backed with an industry-leading 60-month, 60,000-mile parts and labor warranty. We invite you to check us out at HNIautomotive.com.
Who can you trust here in the Valley to repair your ride? This is Bumper to Bumper Radio, KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio, where we're helping you with your car at 602-277-5827. That's 602-277-KTAR. What the heck is Bumper Radio if you've never tuned in before? Well, we're here to help you with your car. We're here to relieve stress from the auto repair and auto purchasing process and all the things that go on in relation to your car. And the other thing that Bumper Radio is there's a website of bumper-to-bumper shops. These are shops that Matt and I would just carte blanche refer you to. These guys are good. Go see them. They'll take good care of you. You can find that list at bumper-to-bumperradio.com. And I just want to highlight a couple of the shops there. Kurt's Auto Repair, which is on Bell, basically, and Matt, is it 22nd Avenue? It's like 22. Mm-hmm. Kurt's Auto Repair. They work on everything. They really key in on diesel repair. They do a lot of diesel repair up there.
They got the catchiest website. If your car hurts,
take it to Kurt's. Yeah,
so carhurts.com.
Take it to Kurt's. One of the biggest problems I see with auto repair is people that are shop hoppers or orphan customers. They don't really have anyone that knows anything about their kid, you know. You wouldn't pick a different pediatrician every time for your youngster. You don't want to do the same thing with your car. Some people just go, oh, I got a coupon here, I'll go there. Oh, I got a coupon here, I'll go there. You know, you need to have a relationship with the shop because they're going to be able to help you with your situation, get to know you. You're going to get to know them. It's going to relieve anxiety. So the other shop I want to mention is Automotive Diagnostics Specialties, or ADS. They're in Chandler. Phenomenal shop. They do everything from working on crazy sand rails and oldies to the modern grocery getter. They can fix it all over there. In their name, really, Automotive Diagnostic, they were really focused on that, and they're good at that. You know,
they're good at everything.
Yes.
But, you know, Greg started the old gas station days in the 80s and 90s when nobody knew how to diagnose anything, and that was his specialty. So
he was good at it. That's how the name came. So
it's carried forward.
And you can find that at bumpertobumperradio.com. Well, we've got Jim, Mike, Bob, Wayne, and we're going to go with Colette in Mesa. She's got a 2016 Nissan Rogue. How can we help you, Colette? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hi there, guys. Yeah, my daughter's interested in this vehicle. She's been looking at it, and it's really nice. And it's got like 28,000 plus some miles on it. And do you think that needs to? They're asking like 13,000. Well, I'm not sure, 13.8 or 13.9 for it. Do you think it should be checked out?
Yes. I think any new car, even if it's a fairly new car, Colette, you know, the car basically, depending on when it was born, and you can look on the on the driver's side door jamb sticker and see when that car was manufactured. That car could have been manufactured October of 2015. So you've driven it 16, 17, 18. It's 3 years old potentially. And that amount of mileage might be appropriate. It might be low mileage. It might be high mileage, depending on when the car was bought and sold. And part of that, you can look at the if it's still be driven by the owner of the car, not a trade-in or something like that, you can look at the license plate month and see how close that is to the production date. But, you know, a new car is not immune to flood damage. Mm-hmm. New car is not immune to, you know, a light front end crash that never got turned into an insurance company and got sold at the auction. I know somebody who fixes those and sells them, and they're usually good cars. And it's not always bad that the car was in an accident or something. It's you know, was it fixed properly and how was it taken care of up to that point? The first thing that comes to my mind on the Nissan Rogue, great car, is a CVT transmission, but you're not going to get away from that. But it's going to be due for a 30,000-mile service here right around the corner. And that might be a few $100s. So if you don't, you got to make sure you have a budget to do the maintenance. And that's why the other reason to go take that car and get it inspected, besides the fact to find out, try and determine if it was in a wreck, was it ever salvaged, was the thing just abused and just rode hard and put away, worn out. You know, maybe the front brakes are getting close, 30,000 miles. Dave, would you service that CVT transmission even if the manufacturer doesn't say to?
Oh, yes, I would.
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
So you're going to buy that car with 20, I think she said 27,000 miles. By the time you change the oil for the first time, you need $600 in maintenance. Yeah. Whether the book says it or not. So that's the long answer to the question of, yes, go get it checked out by someone other than the person selling it. Whether that's another dealer, an independent shop, and make sure.
And that's one of the deals. If I have good regular customers, hey, we're looking at buying this car, we want to just swing it by. I don't need to necessarily charge money or put it up in the air or do any of that stuff. I'm going to go running around the block. I'm going to feel it, and I'm going to use my butometer to check the car out when I'm in the seat of the car. And sometimes that's sufficient on a car in that kind of era. I'm going to look at it and, true it up in my mind to see if it looks like it's not been whacked or flooded or anything like that. Yeah. And I can tell a lot from a car just by looking at it. I've looked at hundreds, thousands.
There's just a certain level of experience. I mean, doctors can just kind of get an idea how you're feeling by looking at you and touching you or doing whatever. It's just to see the pants feel and a just understanding.
Now, if it was an 80,000-mile car, I would do it differently.
Yeah.
I would probably charge you some money and probably want to put it in the air to, before you make this long relationship with this car. I want to check it out good for you.
It all depends. Are you buying it really from the guy who bought it? And he's, when I get fishy is when you look at the car, there's nothing in the glove box. I mean, that thing's been stripped out. The tags just were renewed yesterday because the guy just got the thing titled and he's just flipping the car. So ask the questions. Look at the title first. Does it match the address where you're looking at? There's all kinds of things that we think about.
For sure. And Carfax is not a catch-all, but it's a good sift also. So anyhow, thanks, Colette. We're going to go with Jim in Scottsdale. He's got a 2014 Subaru Forester. How can we help you, Jim? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
I think you've already answered my question. I have a CVT in this car, 50,000 miles, and it doesn't say it needs service. There's no dipstick, so I can't check the fluid to see what color it might be. What do you think?
I would definitely recommend a service, and it won't necessarily be in the manual, but I'm not going to get that serviced at XYZ Car Wash, because, a bad transmission service is worse than no service at all. So, it takes a special CVT fluid. These CVTs, I haven't seen a lot of trouble with Subarus. They seem to their CVT has seemed to do pretty well. But it does come up, and so it's definitely a good idea to service it. It's literally a couple of steel cones with a chain and rubber belt that's running in there and needs to be well lubricated.
Yeah, and the biggest problem with those is the breakdown of the fluid, and when the fluid breaks down and can't lubricate, it's more susceptible to being damaged from the heat. Heat is the worst thing for a transmission.
You look at the additive package in a CVT fluid is totally different than you would see in regular automatic transmission fluid. So get it serviced, but don't get it serviced wrong. So hopefully that helps you out. Let's go with Wayne in Chandler. He's got a 2003 Ford Ranger. How can he help you, Wayne, you're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
Yeah, I've got my daughter's Ranger. It's got the 3.0 flex fuel. It's got 150,000 miles on it. She got it at about 90,000 miles. We did a full service on it. I changed the plugs and wires and everything at that time. She just recently started getting a PO203 misfire in chamber 2 error code.
Okay.
And I was just fast enough to get the plug out before you guys answered. So I'm looking at the plug now. It's nice and clean, a little cocoa brown to it, but looks fine. The gap was a little bit wide, but not real far out.
So you said a 203, is that right?
PO302.
302. So we have a cylinder 2 misfire.
Correct.
So, I mean, there's a number of different things it could be. I mean, you could have, so that has one ignition coil, and does it have, and then 6 spark plug wires in that model, right?
Correct.
Okay.
It's got one pack.
One coil pack. So, I mean, Dave, a couple tests we're going to do in the shop. A lot of times we might just switch one coil from another, from 2 to 3 and see if it follows.
Right. This one you can't do that.
You can't do that. So what you would want to do, maybe you could switch a spark plug wire and see if if you can find the same length wire between maybe 2 and 3, and if the misfire moves to 3 with the wire, then maybe you got the spark plug wire. Other than that, you could have a bad fuel injector. So for you sound capable. Sounds like you did some of that work yourself. You just take a long, thin screwdriver like a stethoscope, and you can lay it on your ear and put it up against each fuel injector. You should hear it ticking. That's a quick test. The other thing, if you have a digital volt ohm meter, that coil is very easy to access. You take off 2 wires at a time. I don't know what the ohm should be between the 2 coil towers. You're looking for consistency. So check the primary side. That's the low side, the 12-volt side and the ground side of the coil, and the secondary side's the part that zaps you, the high-end side. so
never happened to me.
You can check that. You could have it, so it's not just the spark plug. Maybe the spark plug looks real clean. I might expect to see a fouled spark plug if we had fuel, so maybe we have a lack of fuel. You got to have air pressure. So you got to have compression, you got to have fuel, and you got to have spark at the right time. All three of those are there. The car's going to run great. So, but you're on the right track. You're in. That's the right code. I was a little worried that he was saying 203, and there, there's some other misfire codes that are talk more about the primary side, not the high spark side.
Hey, thanks for the call, Wayne. We've got Bob and Mike, and maybe time for one more at 602-277-5827. You're listening to Matt and Dave, your KTAR car guys on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
What's the right call after a car accident? Hi, Leo Petrozello for Campus Auto Body Salon. I invite you to check us out online and see why so many people have made us their first call following their accident. Bumper to Bumper Radio approved, 5-star rated with Yelp and CarWise.com, and A+ rated by the BBB. Make your first call the right call to Campus Auto Body Salon. Check us out online at campusbodysalon.com. Serving the Valley since 1973, Campus Auto Body Salon, the best care in collision repair.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20-plus years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
The legends of the game return to Phoenix Country Club for the Charles Schwab Cup Championship, November 7th through the 11th. And the Bunker to Bunker Golf Show invites you to create your own experience of a lifetime with our Inside the Ropes contest. One lucky listener will win daily VIP tickets for 2, parking, and walk inside the ropes with a PGA Tour Champions Pro for the final round on Sunday. For details, listen to Bunker Saturdays 7 till 9 a.m. or simply enter online at bunkergolf.com today.
It sounds like they've just had the accurate automotive experience. We're family owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships. And oh yeah, listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. One location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
Welcome back to Bumper Radio. I'm Dave Riccio here along with Matt Allen, and Carrie's feeling a little on the hard side today. Everything going okay at your house? Oh, yeah, you know what? It is, we're smack dab in the middle of the Burr months, and I love the Burr months.
Carrie's got his orange shirt on over there.
Oh, yeah. I think there's a party over at Rage Cycle tonight. I think I'm going to go over there. It'll be beer and bicycles and my two favorite things.
Yeah, you ride your bike over there and
yeah, I wobble my bike over there and I wobble my bike home.
Right.
You can get a DUI on a bicycle.
I know.
You got to be careful.
I know. I think I'm going to go out and look at hot air balloons tonight or some kind of Halloween thing. My wife wants to go out to that. I'll mess it up wrong, but the Dia de los Muertos or whatever, the dead people.
Yeah. Cool.
The Day of the Dead.
Well, we've got a couple of phone calls here. We've got Bob in Chandler. He's got a 2006 Chevy Malibu. How can we help you with your Malibu, Bob? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, good morning, guys. I've had recent air conditioning issues with this thing, and took it into a place, and they actually replaced the compressor and did some other stuff to it. It blows cold now, not like it used to, but the big problem is when I'm down the freeway at 65 in cruise, it feels the RPM drops about 100. It does it about every 4 or 5 seconds, and it feels like I'm tapping the brake and then letting go. There's like a lurch in it, and it happens every 4, 5, 6 seconds, and it's only with the air conditioning on.
Is that one of those hot rod Malibus with the big 6-liter engine?
It's not. No, it's I think it's like a 3.8. Okay. Does that sound right?
Something like that.
It's the biggest one they made that year in that Malibu. It is an SS.
Okay. It says it does it with the air conditioning on. I'm not so sure it's necessarily an AC problem. I mean, I'm kind of thinking of the clutch switch cycling on and off and on. It could just be a low pressure issue with the air conditioning, maybe. But I would, Doesn't seem, Dave, that you should be able to really feel that, though.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't
know?
think you would feel it. Not cruising down the road like that. It should be like a non-event.
And let me also add that it only started to occur after I got the car back from having the air conditioning repaired. So that's why it led me to turn it off and see if it's doing it with the AC off. It's smooth with the AC off. Turn the AC on, it doesn't.
What was the repair to the air conditioner?
A new compressor, and they didn't have to go back behind the dash, but there's some sort of a valve, I believe.
Yeah,
by the dash.
A mode door or expansion valve or something.
Expansion valve, that's what it was.
Well, even so, I have a hard time with the air conditioner, but I'm thinking, what did they do when they serviced the air conditioner? Could they have possibly left a ground wire loose? Had they possibly interrupted or interfered with something else that's now causing you to have the symptoms? So I think if this were in my shop, Dave, I would. It's going to take two people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least one to go drive it and feel it. But a second one, we need to look at a scanner or be monitoring some data on a scan tool.
See what changes.
And see what's happening. Is this AC, can we see the AC command or the clutch cycling on and off at the same time you're feeling this symptom? Can we narrow that down to that? And if we can, great. There's a good place to start. Now we start looking what has the effect to, what's the common denominator there, whether it's a ground wire or...
Yeah, and I think it is very well related to the repair. I mean, that he just had done. So, I mean, you just take it back there and explain to them what's going on. Maybe take a drive with it. And what Matt's explaining is we can read the scanner. We can look at different functions of the car. So we can see when the AC is commanded to come on. We can see what's commanded to come off, or if it's a partial. We can see, what the modulation is. We can see all that. And anytime we got a car that has an event, we'd like to take the scanner. And we can read it. We see what happens when the event happens, and that points us in that direction.
Yeah, we in some cases we have a quote flight data recorder. We'll hit the button. You say, "Ooh, it did it." Good. You hit the button, and it goes back and logs 15 seconds prior to the button getting hit. It marks where we hit the button, and it logs after. And we can go in and watch this event. And sometimes you find it, and sometimes you don't. But that's just the process of testing.
It's so funny, you think about that, Matt, because people go by the auto parts store and they'll plug into your car, and people think, "Oh, I already had it diagnosed at XYZ Auto Parts." They're not doing any of that fancy stuff. They're just plugging it in. Yep, you got a fever, or whatever. I mean, yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
But there's so much more that happens to find a problem.
Well, you could go to the doctor, or you could drive by it'd be like going to Walgreens and they take your temperature and say, well, you could have a cold, you could have a strep throat, you might have ate some bad chicken, or whatever it is. So which part would you like to buy? It might be one of these 4 prescriptions.
For sure. Well, good luck with that, Bob. I'd head right on back to the shop. It probably will be self-explanatory when they get at it. So thanks for the call. Let's go with Mike in Phoenix. He's got a 1993 Chevrolet Silverado 1500. How can we help you, Mike? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Fantastic.
Great. Hey, so I hadn't driven this truck in about a year because the battery kept going dead. Right, I would get a new battery, I would put it in, I would start it up, and then, maybe a week later or something, I would go out and try and start it dead, right? So I've been through like 3 new batteries. I'm in the truck right now because I just said, well, if it starts, I'm going to drive it around. So I registered it, I did all that stuff yesterday, right? And so what can I do about that? Because if I don't disconnect the battery, it's going to go dead just sitting there in the driveway. I've checked the fuses. I did a continuity test. I ran the test light from the negative cable to the negative post. I pulled out each fuse. I checked. The light was on every time. And like what's going on?
Well, there's a draw there for sure. And really the only way to do that, Dave, you got to fix it, right?
You said
yeah.
You said drawl. There's a drawl there. I thought it was
a draw. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. So you've got a key off draw. So something's dragging the battery down. Some of the things that we look at. You can literally. I mean, you can take. We've got these little infrared cameras. You can take a picture of the fuse box and see which fuse is hotter than the next one. Mm-hmm. These are some of the things that we do to try and find these problems. But that's what it's going to take someone that's good at finding electrical problems.
Yeah, we had one. we had it for a couple days,
Right.
because it wasn't easy. It had a draw. It had a 7-amp draw, but it would be boom, draw, and 10 seconds later, no draw. And then 10 seconds later, 7-amp draw, no draw. Son of a gun. Start going through, pulling, figuring out. We had to use an infrared heat gun. What we found was the circuit breaker for the power seats was tripping every second, 7 seconds. Internally, there was a motor that was shorted out. There's 6 power seat motors on this Infiniti. It was very easy. You take the infrared gun, shine it underneath the seat, boom. The one that really showed up, red, or whatever the hot color is, there's your motor that was shorted out internally. And all this happened after we put a battery in the car. I don't know why. Don't know what. I don't know if someone went and moved the seat afterwards or what the situation was.
But that customer was like, ever since you guys worked on my car.
Right.
Yep.
And then come to find out, it's not that uncommon of a problem either. After we figured it out, then we started looking around, doing some more digging.
I love the tools that we have to fix cars. You know, in the old days, we didn't have anything like that. You know, I got one of those deals. I put it in the bottom of my cell phone. It's a special camera, and I take a picture, and in the picture, it shows me the hot spots.
Oh,
fantastic! I can't think of the name. It's a FLIR.
FLIR.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's the coolest thing. I was like $250. You know, I use it all the way around the house. I take pictures of my wife. I'm like, oh, you get running a fever, honey. But it's you know, these are some of the tools that we have to do this stuff, which we didn't have in the past. But in the old days, it was a whole lot easier to fix a car. Honestly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we got to be computer specialists now. We didn't used to have to be. You know, all these extra things that have come into it, and everything used to just turn on and off. That was easy. Now everything comes on a little bit more. Let's do a little bit more. Oh, let's bring it back. You know, so you got to really figure stuff out, scope it, graph it, all that stuff. So there's so much to fix in a car, and it's not super easy.
No. I mean, we talked about last week the Porsche that we were putting power window motors in. I mean, there's a whole. You just can't replace the power window motor. You got to put it in. You've got to program it. You got to tell it what kind of car it's going in, because that part fits multiple cars. These have their own little IP addresses. Every single one of these is a little computer module. You've got to marry that to the other 7 or 8, 10 modules potentially in the car. Tell it where up is. Tell it where down is.
Well, you know, I do have a YouTube certification, so.
Right.
You know, I YouTube stuff, though. There's a lot of good information on YouTube, you know, and these people that take the time to do these videos, bless their hearts, but I ain't you.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, for sure. But there's step-by-step on some of this stuff. But sometimes it's easy to oversimplify what it is that happens. There's a lot to what goes on in an auto repair shop. And there's also a big stack of a difference between technicians. Some technicians, they can maybe get lucky, go to what we call cheater sites and get, you know, that'll work for some of the cars, but when you have a real problem, you're going to wish you had a good technician working on it.
And hindsight's always 20/20. You get to the end, sometimes you say, gosh, I should have figured that out, but no, nobody else did.
Well, we're glad you could join us. Be sure to have a lot of fun tonight because it's Halloween weekend. If you're looking for a competent, honest, friendly shop, you can find them at bumpertobumperradio.com. We'll see you next week.